Good afternoon, everyone. I just thought I'll make this quick video on Iridium Power Bytes. I just want to give you a quick couple of minutes snapshot on the jargon that you might be seeing used around you these days. And I did a talk on the weekend with Creator Club, and a lot of the questions was just break down the jargon. What is going on in the world and what is everybody talking about? So I thought I'll make this quick video about what is Web 3. Everybody's talking about the fact that we are heading towards Web 3.0. So I thought I'll break it down very quickly so you can have good conversations if this ever came up. And I guess the most important question is, what is Web 1 and 2 and what the hell is Web 3? So let's just dive in. So what is Web 1.0? Web 1.0 is like the first iteration of the web. It just kind of what first came out in the early years. It just allowed you to search for information and read it. So there was very little interaction. This is way back in the 90s when the web was actually rolled out, and there was a lot of interest and fascination about what the Web 1.0 is. Now, that was the first stage or the iteration of the internet, and most of the internet users at that time, and you'll remember, if you know, like me, you were one of the consumers of the information on the internet, it was just characterized by a few people who were creating the content, and most people on Web 1 were consumers like you and me. Now, if you go to the next version, which is Web 2.0, that's kind of a term that started around the 1999, and that's what we're probably used to seeing and what we see around us. So essentially, this gave the opportunity for the consumers of content to also create content, not just be active consumers, also become active contributors to the internet. And this was the beginning of the platform. This is also called the platform age. So the platforms came out like WordPress and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. All of these were driven by user-generated and user-driven content. And that's the characteristic of Web 2.0. So we're kind of living through the advanced stages of Web 2.0 right now. And what we also realized is you can take an active approach over here. Then we come to Web 3.0, which is what everybody is talking about. So in Web 3.0, the understanding is that it will be driven by blockchain. I'm going to do another video on what is blockchain in very simple terms, but essentially know that it is a decentralized way of having information connected. It is not going to be controlled by a few platforms or a few people holding control over who does what on the internet. And what we're also going to start to see is artificial intelligence and machine learning actively getting deployed in these interactions. And that is what we are starting to see happen. We are in that transition where every signal and everything that you read will say that this is going to become more and more common. What is AI going to do? It is simply to allow data to be provided in a user-friendly way and a more relevant way, because over the years of the internet, there has been huge amounts of data that's been created. So what we are going to start to see is more use of algorithms, taking use of this data to give it to you in a very user-friendly, relevant manner. And the technology is going to get more and more advanced. And what we are also going to see is the use of cryptocurrencies. You will start to see smart controls, automated controls. Again, this sounds very futuristic, but I don't think it's far off. It's coming really quickly. Why does it matter to you? Is this just a fad, and is it going to be gone in a few months? And does it really matter? Well, I think it really does matter, because of why and what it brings to the forefront. It is the fact of the matter is very few corporations have dominated the internet, meaning that individuals have had very less control on what was provided to them as information. So we're going to see that personal data of ourselves, and that's what we provide in access to the platform. We're going to see that ownership being brought back to the users. And I think the whole idea or philosophy behind it is more power to the users. And Decentralization means that these few corporations don't wield all the power. It's very much decentralized. So I don't think it's a fad. I'm going to do a lot more videos breaking down the jargon of, what is Web 3.0, what is blockchain, why does it matter. Essentially, we're seeing the incorporation of these smart technology into our life. So we're going to start to see more and more of this in our daily life. It's going to become very, very common. So why will it be important for you and me? Because it is going to be verifiable. It is going to be self-governing. It's going to be in a function in a very different manner. So there's some parts of it that's going to be interesting. There's some parts of it that most people don't really have the answers for. And I guess why am I talking about this? It's because we are mandated by some overseas investors to deploy capital into companies in this space. So if you are looking for capital, you are the founder of a company in this space, we can definitely help connect you to the right people. So I guess what we are looking for in terms of connecting you to the right capital partners is that we want to make sure that you have a clear proof of concept. If you have revenues, that's great. It's not mandatory. It should be a scalable business. It should be something that we can see growing quickly and scaling quickly. We need a founder that's driven to go, international very quickly. And we also want a solid management team. If that is you and you want to talk, we are very interested to see if you could be one of those companies. So do reach out, and if you have listened along just to understand and get this power bite, thank you. I hope you found it of value, and let me know if you need me to talk about anything different or you have more thoughts about this topic. Very keen to hear. Thank you.